Hello everyone. Please take the time to read our disclaimer. We are not financial advisors. Every trade you take based on our trade ideas is based on your own responsibility. Please take your time to read through the disclaimer so we can continue on to the next section. All right. Welcome, fellow Cryptopians. Let's start today our next cryptocurrency session and see what the market can give us and see how the last week has progressed itself. Okay. Pretty big bullish momentum on Bitcoin so far. Nothing that pretty much at least is telling us that we have a shift in momentum right here. We had a first sign that the market might have been dropping, or that the market might be able to show some signs of weakness, and that's based on the fact that we saw an order block right here, right? An order block, the beginning of our downward move, or the beginning of the big reaction the market has gotten ever since 50k, which totally blew the market from 50k all the way down to 30k. So that area is becoming of, or that area is at least some significant importance, or will serve some significant importance to us in the future. That does not mean, however, that area remains valid. An area like this always gets a reaction, but as long as the daily bullish momentum is still intact on the daily wave, which you will soon see what I mean, then basically what I mean is that this zone is a sell zone, but it still needs to create, or it still needs to break the buy zones, the bullish zones where all the buyers currently in the market are most dominant in. It still needs to break that for that shift of momentum. If the market was able to make a lower high like this and break this area, then we could have expected this sell zone to be valid. Why? Because we have reached the sell zone. We have a break of structure. That's aligning with the fact that we're close to a sell zone. So pretty much we have a good, strong indication that the market might be willing to go down. And instead of immediately selling, we wait for the correction. And then we try at this correction to get the market at a lower high and take it down to the downside. All right? With a short position, or maybe taking profits from a lot of our trades or from some of our investments to buy back earlier, or to buy back at least at a cheaper price, okay? This daily momentum, or at least the bullish momentum from this daily wave, from here until here and further on, was never broken. It was still intact. And to take a trading bias, or to take a trade in a certain direction, we need to have confluence on all different time frames. The weekly set a potential bearish scenario, but the daily set, we're still bullish right now. No sign of weakness just yet. And right now, this is at least getting broken. So that daily scenario, that daily bullish scenario, is still fully intact, and we can fully expect the market to be rallying further to the upside. And the reason where I am personally, for Bitcoin at least, taking a little bit of caution on is basically right above right here, fairly close to the 50k level. Let me quickly change colors right here. And this is a potential area where the market might be having some trouble getting through. Again, as long as this daily momentum stays intact and as the market is doing stuff like this, then any retracement that's coming from this bearish order block is just going to be a minor correction. And as long as the daily is still intact, the zone that's originating from right here, okay, then there's no cause for alarm and there's no reason to be bearish on anything, right? We want to have confluence. We want this to say sell, but we also want the daily momentum, for example, to say sell. This also needs to say sell, and whenever we have that break, whenever we have that break below recent demand and break a bull order block, in this case, for example, break a bull order block, only then will we start to see a shift in momentum, and we'll have to change our bias that we currently have, because never, as always, never change your bias in the market. Excuse me, that was wrongly said. Don't marry your bias. be prepared to change your bias, of course, whenever necessary. Let the market come to you, let the market show its evidence to you, and then react based upon that, right? So basically, never marry your bias. The bias right now is up, but whenever we see signs that the market might be having a turnaround, might be having a reversal, then of course we're going to take action based on that, right? So Bitcoin pretty much still bullish on the daily. Let's take a look on the 4 hour on a smaller time frame. Okay, still making higher highs on this current wave. 4 hour perspective, as long as Bitcoin remains above this 4 hour order block, then there's no reason to be concerned. The daily order block has shifted to a higher level, so instead of this will be our region for the daily order block. So on the daily, this is the level that needs to be broken right now for the market to become bearish. And on the 4 hour, this might mean an early attempt at getting some lower numbers. But as long as this level remains intact, then there's nothing to be concerned about. And probably right now, I mean, like the 50k level might be able to form some type of support, because psychological levels in crypto do indeed work, and they work extremely well, actually. So as long as Bitcoin is showing bullish momentum, that means we can take a lot of opportunities on the altcoin market, because usually I myself am very cautious with taking altcoin trades once Bitcoin isn't showing me the bullish signs, right? Whenever Bitcoin turns around, it doesn't matter how bullish your altcoins are. Rune, Trias, Link, Vechain, Qcoin, VRA, Quant, Noia, Mina, Sol. It doesn't matter which altcoin out there, even Ethereum. If Bitcoin is going to go down, your altcoin might be showing you a bullish technical setup. It will fail instantly. Okay? Bitcoin has always been seen as the DXY of crypto, because in Forex, when we look at the Forex markets, we have to pretty much know what the dollar is doing, especially if you're trading dollar pairs, right? If you're trading Euro USD, for example, it kind of makes sense that you need to know what the dollar is doing. All right? You want to have confluence in your trades, and with Bitcoin, it's no different. So Bitcoin is the leader of the pack, and when Bitcoin drops, it automatically takes all altcoins with it, okay? And none of them are being spared, okay? But so, as we know that, we have no reason to be looking for bearish trades. The only setups we'll be looking right now are bullish ones, okay? Breaking structures to the upside. Corrections are the ideal area to be looking for an entry, but only looking for buy entries, okay? Know when to trade, know when not to trade, and also know which direction you have to trade, right? Ethereum, pretty strong, looking extremely strong, especially based on the fact if you look at Ethereum BTC. If you look at Ethereum BTC, we can pretty much see Ethereum having a lot more room to grow. As you can see where we usually were in the past, Ethereum has, against Bitcoin that is, Ethereum has yet to break its all-time high, or isn't even going to get close to its all-time high. It's well on the way. It's looking extremely bullish, and will probably remain bullish. Also because of strong fundamentals driving the Ethereum market, etc., etc. So Ethereum, great investment. Will always prefer Ethereum above Bitcoin from return on investment wise. I like both of them. I like Bitcoin, I like Ethereum, but if you ever decide to invest into the big league, into the big boys, into the top 10, then I would personally always prefer Ethereum above Bitcoin. Both of them will probably make you profitable, but Ethereum will probably make you more profitable than Bitcoin will. All right? No trading setups on Ethereum currently present itself. It's running very strongly. Ethereum right now looking incredibly bullish, but if you go to Ethereum USD, the trade should have been made right here if you want to take a buy, and right now we're pretty much high in the market. So whenever a retracement presents itself, and we then get a change in structure or like a bullish momentum to kind of trade, then we take a buy setup, right? Never FOMO. Sometimes this might turn out well. I know plenty of people that were like, okay, I took a FOMO buy and I took when the market was high and rallying, and it turned out great, awesome. But as a trader, you need to be looking at a system that works over and over again. Not to be lucky once or twice, right? You need to be lucky every single week because you have a profitable system. That basically means whenever this goes up, this basically for me, myself, especially after 5 years of trading, this learned me like, okay, Alicia, if you're looking for a trade on the contract side of things, so basically if I'm looking to trade cryptos on a derivative market, and with the derivative market, I mean like on Binance Futures, for example, or on FTX, or on MetaTrader, if you're that kind of guy that's trading on an inferior platform. Yes, I said it. MetaTrader is not suitable to crypto at all. But usually a lot of beginners that are used to Forex are choosing MetaTrader 4 as their prominent platform, which is a terrible idea. But yeah, if you don't know how other platforms work, I definitely advise you to do so, because you're fairly limiting yourself. But that being said, you can also trade crypto with leverage and with contracts. That's the derivative market. On MetaTrader, you're trading CFDs, contracts for differences. But you're not trading the real thing, right? These are contracts that are based on the real value of Bitcoin, of Ethereum, of XRP, but you're not trading the real thing, okay? And that's when we're looking for trades. When you're looking for investments, that's something else. That's different because you're usually investing for the long run. But when I see something like this, of course, and you're looking for a trade on the derivative side of things, then pretty much wait for a correction, guys, because the risk to reward isn't there. And I will clearly show you why. If you right now take a long setup, for example, and what's your target maybe going to be? Maybe the previous all-time high, right? Maybe 400. But this trade right here, even though it can turn out well, remember, here is support. Here is a reversal area. So your stop loss basically needs to be below support, basically needs to be below demand. And this is where demand was formed. So basically, right now, you got a huge stop loss. And why do you got a huge stop loss? Any trade or any correction right now to the downside is still a valid buy side because we have a break in structure, we going to the upside. So the trade is looking bullish. So the trade lowering, or when prices on Ethereum is going to drop maybe even all the way to 3,500, is still a bullish scenario that will usually probably lead to the upside. Okay? Because an uptrend usually in 80% of the times, or even higher than that, leads to a continuation. But there are corrections. We also have sellers in a buyer's market. Just like we have buyers in a seller's market. Same thing. Okay? So your stop loss is pretty huge. Wouldn't it be a bad thing? Because your stop loss is always at the same level, always based on market structure. Wouldn't it be a very smart decision that if instead of a setup like this, you're only entering after corrections, and when the market would be correcting, inside your POI, for example, you're looking at trades, same thing, same TP, same stop loss, but a lot more competitive. See the difference? And depending on where you enter, you can make this a lot more competitive than it currently is. Okay? That's just a small difference based on educational purposes. So, a lot of opportunities out there, guys. Ethereum isn't the only altcoin in the market, so let's continue to the other markets. Glad to see XRP doing well. As talked on last week and as talked on our other sessions, XRP is showing a lot of bullishness, a lot of buy scenarios. I myself took the buy last week, which is right now great at break-even levels and is still looking solid to go. Ethereum Ripple will likely see more upside potential. We also have a lawsuit with the SEC going on. If that lawsuit ends in positive terms for Ripple, basically XRP, so XRP, the coin from Ripple company, or Ripple Labs, that basically will mean like we will see a lot more bullishness in the market, but it's likely that the market will still see higher numbers. 1.35 won't be the end, highly likely, unless Bitcoin decides to do something tremendously wrong and starts to be crashing down. But our indications right now is that Ripple will still see higher prices. We have a lot of bullish price action on the 4 hours. This was a great entry potential because the first confirmation came once we had broken structure. We had broken a previous bearish order block, which is this one on XRP. Pretty much textbook material, guys. So this was a bearish order block for bearish continuations. Once this was broken, then of course this means like, okay, we might have a change in momentum. And then this bull order block that was created right here, that originates from this one. This is also a bull order block, by the way. But once we have done this, and while the market starts to, instead of respecting supply and breaking demand, right now it's breaking supply levels and respecting demand, which means a change in momentum on this correction right here. And then right now we have the change in momentum and boom, breaking structure again, going up, going up, going up. So any retracement right now will be pretty much be bought up, right? So Ethereum, XRP, excuse me, well way up to the upside. Zilliqa, also a lot of bullish momentum. Zilliqa on the daily looks like. It was a great re-entry possibility. Anywhere between 12 cents is pretty much a good re-entry area. Yes, 11 cents as well, but I don't really think we will go back to 11 cents. Zilliqa right now is probably moving towards the direction at 16, 17 cents. Okay, this will probably be the direction that the market is going to take, and this might provide some type of resistance out there. But as of today, Zilliqa, the uptrend remains stable. The uptrend, the uptrend remains strong, or at least shows a lot of strong factors. We right here have a 4-hour bull order block, which the market can react to. But anything below 11 cents is pretty much bullish territory and will be taken all the way up to the upside. Then Trias, I think we also spoken about this on our last week's call, if I'm not mistaken. Which day are we? 6 days ago, so 31 August. It might be, we saw this pretty much, might be that Monday was a little bit too soon. I think I talked about this on Wednesday on our public calls, or at least one of our other calls. We had to change the structure. We had the correction on Trias-wise. We always know, guys, which I told you before, if you're trading, always look for trades in a correction. Never buy when the trade is going because you missed it. You want to be catching the train when it starts to leave. You don't want to catch the train when it's already going hard, okay? Because that usually will lead to a loss or won't give you a profitable setup or a profitable strategy that works in the long run, okay? So we have the correction right here. We have a first small attempt at this bullish order block. The bull order block has originated from here, okay? Because right here, this area was highly important to take the market all the way from $7 to $11, which took a lot of money. And this money is likely to be willing to buy the market again once the market retraces into this area. We saw a first attempt, a second attempt, and the second attempt broke structure right here. Broke a previous bearish order block. So this bear order block that we right now flipped on Trias is being broken. So this right now becomes pretty much a bull order block, or at least an order breaker, as I like to call it. Flipping it and going to the upside. Okay, Trias, daily-wise, a lot more upside potential going for it. We have the change in momentum right here. It's probably going to rally towards $15. Okay. Rune finally left the station this weekend. Got a beautiful sell setup on Rune running. Why? Rune, again, very similar pattern like Trias. We came into the demand, reacted on it, but still have to test that bearish order block right here, which is still strong. We got a reaction on the bearish order block going down again. Right now, instead of respecting the bearish order block, we're also respecting demand levels. This level was being respected. Market went up, broke structure again right here, then it's retracing, and after it's retracing, this go time, go to the upside. So this correction would have been your ideal entry area if you were entering on a confirmation on the reversal, right? If you would be entering on the order block, of course, you would have a higher risk to reward setup, but less accuracy, right? You always have two ways to trade things. If the market is going up, for example, the market is usually leaving order blocks behind, right? And these areas, for example, are bull order blocks. There's always two ways to trade, and none of them is beneficial. Anyone that's telling you so is a liar, or at least he doesn't know how to trade usually, but trading is all based on mathematics, okay? So, you always have two choices. The market can come back to an order block, and an order block usually is a good entry, or is a good area to take an entry position, okay? With a stop loss below the order block. And then with a target you see fit, which generally gives you a high risk to reward trade, but less accuracy, because you do not know if this area will be valid. Okay, this area right here, you don't know yet that it will have enough buyers to beat out the sellers after a correction in the market. So, in some point in time, there will be a correction, and the market will be correcting. And for all we know, it breaks through this one and is going next to the next bull order block. That's highly possible, okay? But that doesn't matter because you have a high risk to reward model. You also have type 2, and that's pretty much the same thing. Let me look at some stuff. Let me highlight this one a little bit further. And that's basically getting a less risk to reward, but raising your accuracy. And that's when the market, right here, also starts to decline. Go inside the bull order block. But on this right there, this wave right here also has bearish order blocks. Bearish. Lower highs, right? So it also makes bearish order blocks all at these high points. And then you have like a small bearish order block that the market still needs to test. Is going up, going back down, going back up, and then breaking structure right now, making a new area point, and making your pretty much your new point of interest. And you're looking to get on this outbreak, getting an entry. For example, if you're taking an entry, for example, like right here, after this break, for example, because the market is likely gonna do this, breaking out, retesting, and going to the upside, something like that. Your stop loss is the same thing. Let me remove some stuff. Stop loss is the same thing, same area, but you have entered higher at a higher area with the same take profit. And as you can see, 1 to 3, 1 to 5. Pretty much difference, right? Still, and that's why you will see on Instagram, on social media, Facebook a lot of times, risk to reward doesn't always matter. It's based on risk to reward combined with our accuracy. This kind of trades is how I personally trade. I trade with the 1 to 3s, 1 to 4s usually, the average setup that I take. Sometimes it's also 1 to 5. But I could easily raise this to a 1 to 10. Easily. However, this right here, less accuracy, high risk to reward. So when you lose a trade for these kind of setups, it doesn't matter. Because why? The trade you do win earns 5 times as much profit as the one you lose. So you are allowed to lose a lot more setups when you're trading this type of when you're doing this type of trading than you're doing this type of trading. However, in this case scenario, you need one trade to pretty much minimize 3 losses, okay, or to break even on 3 losses. But the accuracy will be a lot higher. You will earn, or at least you will catch a lot more profitable trades, and a lot of your trades will go to take profit a lot more than in this scenario. And neither one of them is probably going to make you a more profitable trader than the other. It's all based on accuracy combined with risk to reward. But there can definitely be someone that's telling you like, yo, I always take 1 to 2 risk to reward trades and still be a lot more profitable than the other guy that's taking a 1 to 10 risk to reward ratio. Vice versa, same thing, or okay? You can also have 1 to 10s and be a lot more profitable than someone that's taking 1 to 1s but 1 to 2s. All right? So that's basically up to you. I usually use this model, but the strategy that I use is basically the same thing. My POIs are the exact area as somebody who's also trading on bull order blocks, for example. My good friend Jens, for example, he's the other guy that's trading on the Forex market, that's giving these sessions on the other days in the week. He's trading on the bull order blocks, but he's getting an entry immediately in, without the confirmation, without the reversal. His confirmation is, of course, the uptrend and a break of structure. But what I do is, after the break of structure, I'll wait on a break of structure again inside the POI again. Okay? To raise my accuracy. But that's all up to every individual out there. Okay, so Rune looking strong right now. Wow, Rune made a pretty big wick to the upside. I'm so happy I didn't break it into break even yet, because Rune, damn, with this big small wick, and that's kind of sucks, because if you put in your trade break even too soon, then something like this can easily happen. Link, also something which I talked last week about, guys. Link looking very strongly. We flipped the bearish order block. This was the last order block that needs to be broken for a further continuation. We flipped that. So whenever that happens, especially on the 4 hour, you'll see the entry right here. Breakout, entry, and boom, to the upside. Okay. This is my model because I used to have a setup all the way down here with like a stop loss below this level, but I already took my stop loss break even and put it into take profit right now. So it used to be a setup that was looking like this. But right now it's already all up here, put into take profit. That's why you see this green box right here. But let me quickly remove it. So Link is looking incredibly bullish, very bullish right now, very strongly right now. Also a great long-term investment. Vechain also same thing. I gotta update this today because it hit my target from a very long time ago that I put on my public Twitter. page where I don't even know if I can still put it, but the Vechain, this was one of my best setups out there, which I can pretty much show you. It was looking to be a trade of the week, but let me look at, for example, Vechain. I can pretty much look this up from a while ago. Let me click on advanced search. So pretty much Vechain. Then from what account? From at the crypto saying. Let me quickly search for it. And I do think, yeah, this can also be trades from a long time ago, but I want to be pretty much searching for them. Trades. There are also trades between them from a few months ago. This is also one of them. But Majesty very strong at the upside again. That was placed on the beginning of August when the reversal happened, by the way, guys. This is how it looks like. This is Vechain, for example. Vechain, the reversal of Vechain. Just quickly look how Vechain is right now looking against Bitcoin. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I remember this one. This one was posted on the 3rd of August. Saw the exact same bottom. The exact bottom down, we saw the huge rally to the upside. That wasn't the only chart that I posted, of course. Long time give that with the usual gains. Bullish on that. Okay, there was a re-entry probably. But I was looking for the trade of the week that I really saw coming. Like, this is going to be one of the most powerful trades that I'm currently looking at. August 11th. This was the other here. For the strongest trade of the week. There it is. We're setting up the strongest trade of the week, showing a reversal on a bit here with a continuation in dollar value. That was the trade I was looking at with like a 1 to 10 risk to reward ratio with a decent accuracy. Once we broke this, we re-entered, and that was at, the price was back then at 0.08 with that trade setup. And afterwards, we saw how this went. If you look at Vechain against USDT from 8 cents, I'm also pretty proud on that one. That was right here. No, it was right here. Okay, on the 4-hour perspective. This was a re-entry area, by the way. I also take re-entry trades if I see the opportunity again, but it was all based right here back then. And this was my setup that I had from 8 cents all the way to 15 cents. So basically 8 to 15. Somewhere along the lines right here. And it actually hit today. It only hit today. Why do I have 2 setups? So basically we have this all the way to 11. And now we have this right here. So I said that. I don't know why it's creating like a double shadow box. Probably something with my settings that I have to adjust because it's following the candles right here. I see why it's following the candles. But basically it was based on that, and it actually hit today on my black line. See the line right here at 1535? That actually today got hit. 1535 smashed. So that was a great setup, by the way. There's probably, let's see if there's still some more room to grow. Let's look on the daily. The reason why I'm being cautious right now, and this might provide to be a first resistance, is just because this is a bearish order block right here. But looking at the market, how it's going right now, this might be broken now, and this level is flipped. And we still might see a continuation till 20 cents and 30 cents area, maybe even eventually. Depending on how high Bitcoin is going to go, okay? Because Bitcoin will otherwise drag us down. So Bitcoin needs to maintain that bullish momentum to really let the alts run. Qcoin, guys, I've been talking a little bit about Qcoin the last few weeks. Great trade, great investments, very undervalued exchange coin. Would buy this any time of the day. Quant, absolutely the biggest beast I have ever seen. Makes me look back at the time that I recommended Quant at $1. Especially a few of my viewers on this YouTube channel will remember. This was 3 years ago, but I know some people are following me from 3 years back. That doesn't mean every call of mine goes just as easily times 300, times 400. But this was one of those I did. Also, some of the coins that I recommend also can completely die out. But that's the good thing about crypto. When you're buying or when you're trading, especially when you're making a long-term investment, let's say you got $500, right? And you diversify that in 5 different coins out there. You put 100 in Quant, 100 in Ethereum, for example. And then, for example, another 100 in Noia, another 100 in Trias, and then the last 100 in MLT, for example, right? Let's just say that 2 of them don't make, let's say, quant. Let's just start with over here, for example, just for educational purposes. Let's say quant went to 0. The maximum amount of loss that you're ever going to get when this doesn't make it is $100. Worst case scenario, you lost $100. So $100 loss. Ethereum didn't make it, for example. Okay, $100 loss. You can never lose more than your initial investment. Then, Noia, for example, was a good one. It broke out. Noia eventually, for example, good one, did it times 20 because it broke through. Remember, quant is times 300 for me. It times 300. But for example, just for educational purpose, let's say it was a gainer. Win. You are not limited to $100 win. You can never lose more than your initial investment, but you can easily make double or more than that. You can make triple, you can make quadruple, 5 double. You can easily make more than you win. Then Trias, for example, also a loss, $100 loss. And that's the reason why we diversify, of course. And then MLT, big winner. What did MLT do? It did it at times 5 over the span of a year, for example. And at times 5 right now is $500 win. What did we win? We went 2,500, 2,500. Then we won out of it, but we lost another $3. So at the end of the day, we got like a $2,200 profit ratio, which is great. Even though 3 of our 5 investments completely, utterly failed. 2 went on to become winners. And we're becoming hugely popular, hugely profitable, and those losses won't ever again be felt. Okay, and that's basically how crypto works when you're making with new money. So that's also why, in the long run, I have of course made a lot more crypto and made my full-time job out of it. Even at some point, making enough with crypto to even do nothing anymore by just trading cryptos, and sometimes even leaving my investments run without even having to trade daily, just because they were so good winners out there. But that's also based on the fact that I'm in crypto from 5 years ago, right? So I pretty much I'm so early in it that, yeah, it paid off well. Okay? That doesn't mean I trade anymore today, because when I trade anymore today, it's still more than I currently have, right? And the goal is always to have more if you're going to be honest, right? So that's being said, okay, quant. Of course, no other re-entry possibility out there, but if we remove everything on quant, pretty easy to see where I would be personally entering if I would be looking for a re-entry. And that's this big, on the daily, however, this big bull order block right here. If quant would come back, but probably won't come all the way back, but if it would come back, this would be a great area to be looking for buys again, right? Noia, great to see Noia doing well. Right now it's potentially in a bullish 4-hour order block. Let's see if it's getting held. Going up, okay. If we see the reversal right here, and if Noia is pretty much showing bullish signs again, then we will be looking for another trade and take this to the upside. Right now it's battling resistance. That again originated from the bearish order block right here. Going back to a 4-hour bullish order block, but anything above this, above 30 cents is still bullish because the daily order block area was all the way down here. Okay, we caught this some weeks ago, which I think I also publicly announced on our YouTube channel, if I'm not mistaken. Since the break in structure right here, since ever we saw this great correction on Noia, we have been waiting for accumulation to take place, see bullish signs again, and whenever we see bullish signs again, we're entering the market, and that was around 26 cents. Okay. The Mina protocol, also beast of a project, still has a lot more upside potential, by the way, guys. So NIA protocol is something I don't only recommend for trading purposes, but also for investment purposes. Again, like I said before, read the disclaimer. Every call that I make, or if you take a trade based on my ideas, your own responsibility. Whenever you make profits or whenever you make losses, I have no idea of it. Like, if you become a millionaire of a certain trade ideas, I won't get any control out of it. Then that million is for you. Vice versa. If you're putting in money that you can't risk to or can't afford to lose, and if you lose that, then of course I also have nothing to do with it. So it basically works both ways. Whenever you're gaining money, it's all for you. But then whenever you're losing money, it's all for you as well, right? And at the end of the day, We're trying to guide you and trying to give you enough confirmation and confidence in the markets. But whenever you put too much money on a certain setup that you can't afford to lose, there will always be something wrong, and not every setup will hit a take profit or will be a good gainer. So remember that. So whenever you place too much money on a trade you can't afford to lose, then it's everything up to you, of course. But that being said, the fundamentals are there on Mina. Mina is an incredibly strong project that has all the fundamentals and all the great signs of being a winner in the future. So I'm holding it myself personally, not only trading wise, but also from an investment perspective. It's one of my main holdings in my portfolio. So very strong number. DOT was also on my radar that I caught last week. Well, actually, it was on my radar and I should have caught it last week, but it missed my entry with a very small shot. I saw it breaking through bearish structure, so I saw it making bullish structure again. Was looking for a trade at 28, but when I was typing it, it already went to 28.50, and I put a limit at 28, and that limit never hit itself. Okay, never. That limit wasn't reached. And it's realistic, right? The reason why I'm telling you this, why I missed my DOT entry, because of course, as a viewer, as a subscriber of our YouTube channel, you have nothing to do with it. Like, whenever I miss a trade or not, that's not very important to you. But it's basically based on the fact that whenever you take a trade setup, limit entries, sell limits, buy limits, doesn't matter what, it's incredibly realistic that a lot of your trades will go on without you. And that's perfectly fine. You just rinse and repeat, you skip the setup, you go to the next one. But last week I had like some type of straight setup right here, with a target all the way up here. Something like this. And afterwards I had pretty much to delete. I was like, yeah, fuck, it's not coming back anymore. Delete. And yeah, let's see how it behaves in the future. Okay. That's most of the trades I was looking at. The most of the trades I'm currently interested in. For other purposes, VRA, not looking too well right now. There was maybe one setup that I wanted to still to discuss that's looking pretty solid. I saw one of the trades passing by, so let's quickly take a look at SORM perpetuals on Binance. What was it based on? What was it, this one? Or was it SORM BTC? Don't really know anymore. It was SORM, right? Or was it another one? I think it was another one. Anyway, let's take a look at SORM USDT again. SORM USDT. Let's see if we can get anything. No entry right now being made, because right now still bullish. Now I want to see signs of bearishness and bullishness. And the only reason we're gonna see signs of bullishness is once this bearish order block is being broken. So right now this is a bearish order block, but this needs to become a bullish one, right? So whenever this area gets broken, then we might have the shift in momentum. But unless that happens, no trade, or at least no buy opportunity coming on SORM. I'm also not be looking at the sell setup, because you could see like, okay, right now we might see the shift in momentum. We see these higher highs and higher lows being broken. We see some wicks to the downside, and we have a POI right here. So basically, the market could fall a little bit lower. But remember, we're in a bullish market. The trend is your the trend is your friend. Excuse me. So that pretty much means you also don't want to be going at the trend against the trend. So basically, I will be only taking setups that are confirming a bullish bias. If I don't see them, I don't take anything. Okay. If I see a sell setup, I'm also not taking anything. The only thing I'm looking for is a bullish setup with a bullish technical confirmation. All right. Because the market right now is going up more than it is going down, and we can clearly see this. Yes, we see corrections, and these corrections are entirely normal, but we see the market going up more than it is going down. So from a statistical model, looking for sells right now would not be the best idea, right? Because we would be going against the trend. We would be defying these statistics. All right. And that's about it. I think that's most of the important stuff that I like to talk about. Most of the things we have been seeing the last couple of weeks are in profit, are currently running very strongly, are running very well. So most of the trades are running already. So really not been looking at too many entry points unless we see a little bit more correction. But right now, as you can see, a lot of these trades are already up and running. And we want to be waiting for them to retrace a little bit and then look for a bullish setup if you still need to enter the market. Okay. Right now, it's not the best place in time to be entering the market. That was last weekend. All right. last weekend would have been the place to enter the market. All right. Which I did, and a lot of my people know, but remember, this is our public YouTube session, so whenever I see a setup on Monday, I will post it, but our other setups that happen in the week, of course, that's in a private group, which makes sense, right? But remember, when the Artist Academy goes live, then you will have the possibility to be following these trades, to be following my setups, all of my setups, by the way, that we're gonna provide with you, all right? Because like this, all of these trades that I personally post, I'm giving free value on Monday. But for example, whatever doesn't happen on Monday, when a setup happens on Wednesday and Thursday, of course, you can't follow, which makes sense, right? But that doesn't matter. Like I said, like on Monday, I will be sharing a lot of my information on my strategy, on my other stuff, on my view on the market, which you can take a lot of value at. But if we're launching Artist Academy next year, you will at least have something to look forward to. Right, and that's about it, guys, I think. No questions in the chat, or at least I don't see any questions in the chat right now. So with that being said, I'm going to finish up today's call. Remember, we are back Friday for our educational sessions. And if you have any questions for next week, then as always, ask them in the chat. And yeah, if you enjoyed these recordings, if you enjoyed these sessions, these live sessions, whether you are on this call from a live session perspective or whether you're on this call from a recording session that you're watching the recording afterwards when the session has already ended from a live perspective, be always sure to make sure that you put your notifications on, subscribe to this channel to support us, and pretty much share with your friends to whoever you feel like needs this information, right? Anybody who wants a free public view of the markets from somebody who has a lot of experience in these markets, be sure to send this to them, and we will see you back next week for our technical analysis, and of course we will see you back Friday for our educational sessions. Guys, enjoy the rest of the week, safe trading, and see you then. Bye bye.